Hey people, Real Wolfhard here. Yeah, I got myself a new treat. I got myself a new Gibson SG. And no, what am I talking about? This is not a Gibson SG. This is a Thorndal, actually. And Thorndal is a guy from my region who's building absolute fantastic guitars. You know, like classic, all the classic shapes, like the classic Stratocaster, Les Paul. I mean, he can build you whatever you want, but he's a true craftsman. He's a true master of his art. And let me know if you guys have like people in your region where you live, where there's just this talented, amazing guy, but unfortunately, he's not that famous. And that's the case with Thorndal guitars. I mean, inside the guitar scene here in Germany, Thorndal definitely has a name as a master of his craft and as a master of building guitars. But unfortunately, he's never, for whatever reason. I mean, often it doesn't have to do with the talent, it doesn't have to do with the craftsmanship and the quality of the guitars, obviously. It has to do with marketing. And for whatever reason, some guys have it harder to make it into the international market than others. Like there's this other guitar builder, Nick Huber, and I think I saw a rig rundown on Premier Guitar. Gosh, I wish I could remember the band, but I think it was Mastodon. And I think Mastodon are playing Nick Huber guitars. And he also builds these wonderful guitars. And you see, just because this one band, Mastodon, which, you know, is a pretty well-known band, starts playing these guitars, it helps a lot to promote his brand. And if something like that happens to a guitar builder, that just helps a lot, obviously. I mean, I guess that's what happened in the 60s with Fender guitars and with Gibson guitars. I mean, the Gibson brand is pretty old. It's like 150 years old or something. But it really blew up in the 60s when the rock stars of that era started playing the Gibsons. And of course that had a reason, obviously, because they just really liked those guitars. They were much better to play. The playability was much smoother than of many other instruments, and they just sounded fantastic. And to this day, that's why Fender, Gibson, and all these classic brands, to this day, I guess that's the reason why they're so popular. So anyway, Thorndal, man, this instrument right here definitely is comparable to a Gibson SG custom shop. You know, I'm not kidding. The craftsmanship on this guitar right here is incredible. And I bought it on a second-hand market here in Germany. And I didn't have to pay nearly as much as what I would have paid for a brand new Gibson custom shop SG, or even if it would have been a second-hand custom shop Gibson SG. This was a lot cheaper for me, a lot more affordable, and that's just because of what's up here on the headstock. If there was Gibson up here, this would be a custom shop guitar, and you would have to pay like at least 4,000 euros for this guitar right here, and I didn't have to pay that much. So thanks for the gentleman who sold me this guitar. It was a really nice chat. It's always nice, you know, to get outside of the house and just meet new people, meet other guitar players. And it just turned out that the guy who sold me this guitar, like, we were into similar bands. Like, while I was, I had to go take a pee while I was at his place, so I went to his bathroom, and during that time, he put on some music, and it was the new Greta Van Fleet album that just came out a couple of days ago, at the time when I bought that guitar, which was like about a week ago now. And yeah, I just heard that from the bathroom and was, whoa, what band is that? Because I hadn't heard the new songs of Greta Van Fleet yet. And but it was like, man, I know that band. Like, is that Greta Van Fleet? And I asked him, and sure enough, and it turned out we were into the same kind of music, listened to the same kind of bands. You know, it's always nice to get out and just try instruments out. You learn so much. And yeah, that's just part of the experience of buying and trading instruments. Like this guitar right here, when I checked it out, I noticed a couple of things right away. Like the way it's built and the craftsmanship that's put into this guitar, you just notice it immediately when you pick it up. And I'm sure you know that when you like pick up a cheap guitar like a Epiphone or a Harley Benton or something really, really cheap, man, you just have to pick it up and all the little details add up in that first moment of touching that guitar and looking at that guitar. A cheap guitar like a Harley Benton, it's not gonna feel awesome at all when you pick it up. Like, and it's exactly the opposite right here. Picked up this guitar, I noticed the way things are built and things are just, you know, just the way things are crafted right here. It's perfect. It's really custom shop quality. Like, I'm not kidding. The thing is, I put new strings on here, so they do sound, you know, and I'm still adjusting it to my, to the way I like my guitars to be set up, which is I like to have the action really, really fucking low, like as low as you can go. And as you can hear, like when I play really, really light, there's no buzzing. And there's a really good, nice, balanced tone. Like really no buzzing anywhere, and I got the action really, really low. And like that's for me, that's a good sign that whoever built that guitar did something right. I did adjust the truss rod in here because the guy who had the guitar before me, he had 11s. The string gauge had 11s on here, and I guess he had that for a couple of years, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, the neck was pretty concave in this direction, so you know, that's an easy adjustment. You just put in the Allen tool and you tighten it up a little bit, the neck, and now it's perfectly straight. Like the way that I tested, you know, probably know that one. Press down first fret, press down last fret, and then you can and then the string becomes like this laser beam because it's totally straight. And so then you can see like where is the, in what direction is the neck bent. Like probably I'm not telling you something new. Like this is, you can look that, but there's so many YouTube videos on that topic. I don't have to explain how that works. Yeah, I picked up that guitar, and first thing I do when I do something like that, I don't even want to hear it with the amp sound. Like, of course, in the end, you want to plug your guitar in through the amp, because in the end, that's what's going to count, you know? You're not going to play your guitar like this without amplification. Like, that's just silly. An electric guitar is meant to be plugged into an amp and meant to be amplified. So that's really, in the end, that's what counts, you know, that you have a nice amplified sound. But a lot of that is the pickups. And I want to hear the guitar without the pickups. I want to hear if it resonates really nice, if there's any problems with the neck. And as I said, there is none here. It's just really nice action. After I adjusted the neck and I adjusted the bridge a bit. Maybe I'm not quite finished with the adjustment yet, because it's always a work in progress. But you know, I'm getting there. Another thing, it keeps the tuning really, really well, especially for an SG. And there's something I noticed. Hope you can see that in the camera right here. Normally on a SG, at least on the ones that I tried with this kind of bridge, the angle goes a lot more. There's a lot more angle. There's a lot more degree, and right here it's a lot flatter, like kind of like with a Fender. You know, that's the reason, I guess, why Fenders don't get out of tune so fast, because on a Les Paul, for example, or on other SGs, the angle is just so much that there's a lot more tension on the string. So I guess that could be a reason why they get out of tune so fast. Maybe that's not the reason. Like, put it in the comments if you know any better. Just something that I noticed, that the angle is kind of flat on this guitar. Yeah, I don't know what that means, why it's built that way. Maybe because the guitar builder used a different kind of bridge than on Gibsons, maybe. I don't know. One thing that annoyed me is it's really hard to get to those adjustment screws right here to fine your intonation. So that was kind of a struggle to get there. The intonation is kind of good now. I still have to adjust that. Yeah, it's a bit higher, like right here. And I got that guitar tuned down to E flat, turned down half step. You see, I'm used to the Les Paul, so I have my switch right here. Because on my Junior, on this one, I don't even have a switch. So, yeah, maybe it's kind of silly to compare these two guitars, but because this is not a custom shop guitar, this is a guitar. This guitar is amazingly good for its money. Like, I did a video on this guitar, and this is like 1,200 bucks. It cost me in 2020 when I bought this. But it's built totally different. Like, it's a bit lighter than most SGs. Has a wraparound bridge, only has a P90, has none of the bindings and any of that stuff. So it's a really stripped down guitar. I love that one. This is a different case right here. You have a bit more options. You know, you have the typical tone options. You have 2 humbuckers. One thing on this particular build is you have a long tenon neck, which gives you a bit more sustain, I believe. Yeah, it's not something I can really, you know, I'm not sure if that really makes such a big difference concerning the sustain. But I do believe it makes a difference in the whole feel of the guitar. You know, how the neck feels and just holding and playing the guitar. All those things make a difference. I'm totally aware of that. So right now in here a pair of PAF style humbuckers, which Thorndal, the guitar builder, made himself also, I believe. Thing is, I didn't have contact with the guy himself. You know, I bought it secondhand. So you kind of, when you're in that situation, you kind of have to believe what that guy is telling you. With a guitar like this, you know, it doesn't have a serious number. You don't always get a certificate with it. You kind of have to have a bunch of experience because, I mean, you can get scammed easily when doing something like this, when buying a guitar. So you're better sure to have a lot of experience with just electric guitars and knowing what price category a guitar kind of fits in. So I'm probably going to swap these pickups. These are really nice PAF style pickups, but I'm not too much into the PAF and into the low output pickup. I kind of like it to the humbuckers to be at least medium output. But to be honest, I'm probably going to put JBs in here, Seymour Duncans. And I was even thinking about putting the Doug Aldrich Sir, what do you call them? The Sir Doug Aldrich pickups in there. Like let me know what you think would be a good match for this guitar, because I don't want to have the PAFs in here. I'm just too much of a hard rock and of a rock guitar player, and I just needed to be a bit tighter, have more output, and let the guitar scream a little bit more. Because right now it's singing. I mean, these pickups are really nice. They sing. So they sing, they sound really nice for blues and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, maybe I should leave them in there. I think I'm gonna give it a try and put some JBs in there and just see how that guitar feels. I have a hunch that it's gonna make this guitar really come to life by putting JBs in here, and it's really gonna make this guitar scream, and that's what I'm looking for right now. So yeah, I mean, what's the conclusion? What's the conclusion of this video, man? It doesn't always have to be a Gibson. That's the conclusion. And I guess you can kind of save money on a second-hand market. If I would have bought this guitar new at Thorndal, I know that from the builder, this guitar would have cost 5,000 euros. So just as much as a Gibson SG. Now, would I have bought this guitar new? I'm gonna tell you right away, no. I would have not spent 5,000 guitars. No, I would have not spent 5,000 euros for a Thorndal. Not because it's not worth it. I do think it's worth it. I do think it's custom shop quality. But it's just a shame, but it's just not an investment as a Gibson would be. If I buy a Gibson custom shop instrument, and for any reason I want to sell it someday, I wait 5 to 10 years. It's probably gonna have come up in price, and I'm probably gonna sell it for more than what I bought it for. So if I bought it for 5,000 euros, maybe if times are good, I can sell it for 5,500 or 6,000 euros. I'm at least going to get approximately the same money as what I bought it for. It's not, obviously it's not the same with a guitar like this. As soon as there's no Gibson up here, and I'm gonna, and I bought this one new for 5,000, I'm gonna sell it on the second-hand market. Nobody's gonna pay 5,000. It's a shame. I don't know why it's that way. Like, I think it's the same all around the world. It's not just in my region. But people are just not willing to pay the same price. And yeah, I wouldn't either. As I just said, I wouldn't do it, man. But not because I think the guitar sucks. I mean, this is a wonderful guitar. This is awesome. Like, tell me, why do you think that is that way? Like, is it the same in your region where you live? It's definitely here in the region where I live. It's just an experience I made again and again and again, that non-international brands just don't get as much on the second-hand market as Gibson or Fenders do. Those things are really investments. When you buy something like that, you're gonna get probably the same price, maybe a little bit less, but sometimes even more, depending on the times and on the market. Like this guitar right here, my Gibson Junior. I did a video on this last week, and then somebody wrote in a comment that these guitars are actually kind of hard to get by now. So I'm just wondering, man, maybe I just got lucky with this thing, and because this specific model and series is so hard to get now, that maybe the prices are going up. I mean, I'm not intending on selling this guitar right here because I need it, but just to clarify the point that I'm trying to make. Yeah, people, I guess that sums it up. My experience with the Thorndal, really great thing. Let me know if you have any similar experiences. Let me know what you think about this guitar. Was I a fool to buy this, or do you think it was a good decision? Yeah, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.